It was a warm summer's evening. There was a light breeze. The children had been playing all day by the river, and it felt time to go home. They started to move off, but there was one little girl that didn't want to go home. She was holding back. She wanted to explore. There was a path she had never been down before, and she started moving towards it. There was high hedgerows on either side. She couldn't see much past them. But as she got a little braver and moved a little faster, she saw a gap in the hedgerow, and she could see light through it. And she thought, I can get through here. So she snuck down on her hands and knees, and she moved through, and it was sore and it was scratchy on her knees, and she was getting caught on the thorns and even tore her sleeve. But then she was through and into the light.
Wow, this is beautiful. She looked ahead of her and she saw a beautiful oak tree. As she moved further forward, she put her hand out to touch the trunk. It felt hard but soft at the same time. She touched another and another and another, and they seemed to grow before her eyes. And then, just right then, she saw a massive tree in the middle. And she moved towards it, and she put her hands on it, and she felt the power of the tree. And if by magic she touched the tree and she fell inside. Wow, look at this beautiful blue light. What is this beautiful blue light? She asked herself. She listened. And she listened. Is that a message I hear? She said. It is a message. What is the message? The message. If you look after us, we'll look after you. She sprung up, back to her feet. Wow, I really have to go back now and tell everybody this message. It's so unbelievable that I've heard this inside the tree. She fell out of the tree onto the ground by a miracle, it seems. She said, how can I get back? She got down and she saw.
Well, she didn't know where she was. She was confused. This was such an extraordinary experience. But then she saw a bird flying past and going to its nest right beside the gap in the hedgerow where she'd come through. The little bird landed and she was able to follow it through and climb back through that gap in the hedgerow. And she ran and she ran and she started calling to her friends and calling to her friends and saying, listen, listen, I have something to tell you. We are being told to look after the oak trees, to look after the trees so that they can look after us in return. And in that moment, her friends who were moving off towards home turned around. They stopped and they listened.
Not far from here, on a day much like today, a family moved into a new house, family of 3, 2 parents, little girl. And while the parents are still unpacking, going through the boxes, the little girl gets a bit curious, a bit, out of boredom, but also because she wants to go on an adventure. She wants to go and explore the garden. So she puts on her big boots and opens the door. And there in front of her is this big city big, but still a beautiful, desolate garden. And she goes in and she wanders around, and then right at the back of the garden, she suddenly hears some rustling through the bushes, some cracking, and then a beautiful red, bushy tail. "Oh," she says happily, "a fox. Are you called Fox?" And the fox turns to her, looks her deep in the eyes, and says, "That's not my name. My name is Daisy. And I come here to play. Is your name called Human by any chance?" And the girl says, "Well, no, my name is Lucy. But what are you doing in my garden?"
My garden? Daisy the fox took a moment to reflect. That's a strange thing to say, my garden. I've been playing here for years with my family, Daisy the fox said to Lucy the human child. Anyway, it doesn't belong to anyone. It's just greenery. It's not your garden. It's not my garden. It's a garden. My siblings warned me about you humans. You're very hostile. That's probably why we don't mix. And as Daisy the fox went to leave, it occurred to Lucy, just a moment, where are these siblings she's talking about? Lucy, as an only child, always wanted siblings to play with. So she wondered, where are the siblings? She asked, "Excuse me, where are your siblings?" Rather sadly, Daisy put her head down. Humans hunted them. "Oh," Daisy said. Lucy was a bit confused. "Anyway, do you want to play?"
Daisy the fox turns to her, and although still a little bit shy, her ears perk up, and all excited agrees. And then they go out to play together in the garden. They jump over puddles, climb into trees, they hop around like goats, they have a blast. And then, while the afternoon turns into evening, they find themselves becoming friends. And just then, the parents call out, so both the fox parents and the child's parents say, "Oh, come out, we're going for dinner. Come out, come home." And then they go, they say their goodbyes, and they each go to their respective homes. And Daisy the fox at the end still yells after her, "By the way, tell your parents, leave out some tasty trash. You know, no processed stuff. Thanks." And off she goes into the forest.